Betame Rehabilitation Center ni nyagitari gokonya abantu abo bacandire no butumiki bwa maryogo yo gutindia buna bono ubutumiki bwa marua chinyasore amona yandamange
yaba mintongoro Kelvin osire uko nzeno munyagitari bwa mangana ya mental health erotore Betame Rehab program nere ko aftercare togo tatwara na kibaendrete
Asamaliya tangoro ku biligram ondegi abwato mo chandu ko kunywa maru sigara nenyasora na bete ngotige binde biyonsi ndongo tebi onde bwensi orisikali Betame Rehabilitation Center ne rehabilitation yengia
bono namangana maya Betame twayigoire orosagia oroya ime yabosongo ensemo ya gesonso asamanke twakere esimi kubwatia 0706380913 kose 0783691972 Betame Rehabilitation Center genda wenyorere obobwenia webirengo beigoro.
LT Kenya International Medical Center ni nyagitari ikotoka ime yomochi obosongo.
Kenya International Medical Center erega igomochi obosongo.
Ikoto kunyara kauto kutumika chimashini chekerero kuringoria omochando ore asomobere ogo.
Cover services chia amarwaira ega tokurukanga chronic diseases kose lifestyle diseases.
Marwaire to kunyara kauto gokonya no burwaire bwa diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, arthritis, ulcer, ne marwaire ande amange.
Abanyagitari bare trained nande bakurigera y'umubero w'umurima ko wetukia bakegesanise igonga chimashini nigo chiroro cyarure Chinsa cy'amayiko chikorigera y'ibimo byawo byonsi bibyo umubere ko wetukia bakamagurunse
nigo gotonyora gwetira enamba yesimi ere 0717176383 gose 0798018654
kuria na kitego sali umubero ito igonga titotigiri maega so kurigera ya mangana nutrition
igo twachiri gokonya omochando ore asomobere ogo.
Nankoligelia sana chekire Chinsa chokonyora mwana mayeli tukali ali tarike 20 na kiando mutinyoka no mwako yiga 2026 botambe isaranso ike wecha mwana maye botambe binabireka gutukwa konya bagusa kubotambe nenka Chinsa mona boigo asem aigana barali babere bakogenda nkuma imirimo banjete gutuka konya bagusaka ndabona gukolentera mwana maye botambe binakubaka gwateka imneskuyense ito ya Kenya botambe mwancho muligelia Guatemala magia kurwa sigiteseni ki Amazing Voice of Victory asichinchira cha online platforms asoko tubata sinchira ya Facebook Voice of Victory TV like na go subscribe chinsemo cha YouTube at Voice of Victory TV Digital botambo mwancho muligelia eritariani botambe Wilson Omenge nko sobisa ranso ikubwa tia mangana magia kurabona mochako no wikomo elio na kwaliganiri to chaka no roboti kurwa se towni kose kurwa se county ya Kisii mwancho muliro ikirabona iga ikirabona serikali yabetege kubwatukira ubyabu kweli kya kwa baki chikura abajam nikobone county ya Kisii yabere kubegati chi county cyabere kigwikirania ukogania kwe namba ili yabetege kubekwa bosyo ne kiombekya Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission mancho muligeria pa gukwana ekero kyogosie kwa kumuyigo yo niko gwikira bono iga yabirege korokana ng'anige county ya Kisii yabirege kurikia abantu abange gwetania 52 igoro yemia yabari babete bakora bari kurikugwa asige saisi asige keke kirigwikira bono iga bobsagura sikyombe kigya IEBC babire bagukwanira na bono kuburi bamenyi kurasi county chinde kwegya bamenyi kurasi county ya Kisii mancho mulilika gukwana neketeseni ikya Voice of Victory oyo mobo na siasa kurasi county ya Kisii asamulita Duke Nyangera nikobona abreka gukwana kubatikana n'ubyo bonke kwa korandigwa kwenchiri yo kwelike buna bakichikura banke kurasi county ya Kisii kirigwikira bono gabreka gukwana na kwenekinga niko yabereke korokya obya na bono obya bwegwe suke busya singichi yo gwichegwe ikirania okugane kwe constitution asinchirende gwakira chikura asobocho wekera chikura barai asobocho libu mwaka 2027 gwikira bono iga ni serikali yabirege kuburirwa kwangoya obya bwokubwata na koena na TID gose identification cards asenchireyemo yobokeania erombe na bwige namba y'abantu abange babwanerete kwenyorera ebibande ere kwenyorera obya bwogwa kachikura cy'umwaka 2027 robot yuro ni Musakito Ishmael Omoyo
wetira roboti rwe kyombe kyo bacholi ne chimbebe IEBC ni ogetebire bune county ya Kisii nigo yekire omubaro bw'abantu bali besoke no kubwatekura se county yo yalengeta abantu kiri 52 abantu 52 igoro yemya besoke no kubwatekura onye nigo oyole neganga yo koligekero kyobo jombe dio kenyangena nigatebire buno mubaro yo kanango no mentete onye ndiri chinga kichoko bwatekura chimentwa.
I'm asking the government to consider increasing the number of days to allow our people to register.
Yangena bwego niego amukiri serikali sokonyorwa kubwatuka ebibande asichinga kichibwenerete asatebiruna ekyo negatiye getango kyagereta abakenya gotesoke kubwatekura.
We've spent the last 7 days going through the constituency, and I have realized that our biggest problem is not even the registration itself, but that our people do not have ID cards. We have a challenge because we have seen that we have people who registered for IDs more than 6 months ago, and those IDs have not come to them. I am appealing to the government to ensure that those people, that they expedite the process of issuing ID cards so that our people can register.
Chinga kecho negabuliri abakikura gweso kyasobo cyoli bwo mwaka gocha elego cyora baraye baya gwetera asekura bono nige cyumbe cyobo cyoli nechimbebe IEBC yatebiribuna okubwate kurango chikogenderera asicyabisi cyabo amo na asicyabisi cya Huduma Center.
Importantly, I also want to urge those who have not registered that there is an open window after the registration, the mass registration is closed, in which they are allowed to continue registering at the constituency headquarters, Huduma Center. The Huduma Centers will continue with the registration exercise for as long as this period is going on. So I'm urging our people not to surrender. Anyone who has not gotten their ID, once they get their ID, please rush to Manga or rush to any Huduma Center so that you can get your IDs.
Inko report ili Amazing Voice of Victory, Elitaliane ni Ishmael Omoyo.
Wachomaligile tukotikana na yuko rasi kaunti ya Kisii tombokoro bagana bono kosawo ikase kaunti ya Nyamira jinsemecho matukumake maga yokoro gwa kwebyara kurwase waziri yobocheno kubatikana ne Chinsa cyobocheno wase serikali ya kaunti ya Nyamira nikubona mugavana we kaunti ya Nyamira Muske Amos Nyaribo abrika gweso ko miliyoko rabona gukwanira kubatikana n'obyo bonke bobocheno bagenda kwena no ase Chinyagitari ase kaunti ya Nyamira ekirogyo kubwatukirwa kwa mulyogo ne bintu binda ase Chinyagitari byarabe bikwira gwetane chimilioni emyeyemo nikubona mugavana we kaunti ya Nyamira Muske Amos Nyaribo abrika kwanira kubatikana n'obyo bonke bwabire bokubikwa ne serikali yae lekwa nikinga bono Chinyagitari ase kaunti ya Nyamira cyabire kikosko bosya sinchira yo bwerania mangana iyo bocheno ka kwa Chinsemecho nikubona abrika kwanira kubatikana no kubwatukirwa kwe nibe nyinke na bwiga mulyogo gucyase Chinyagitari ngati ya Benyagitari ya Manga level 2 hospital na boyige gati ya nyagitari ya Nyamira igati chinyagitari chindase county yo kirigwikira bono igabereka ukwana na kuburia bamenyi be county Nyamira gutwara okwege na kubatikana no bwerania po bochoni boko bagotoka se chinyagitari cyo ka ukwana chinseme cyo ikubona bereka ukwana kubatikana no byo bonke babere boko bika kura se serikali ya bereka ukwana kwene kinga asime tukona bige myaka ya bereke gotikara na cha kwene kinga bono ubyo boko babere boko randa na bono gwikira chinyagitari chiri chinke ase county yo ya Nyamira robotiro. Also, we cannot.
Not going to buy machines at Dware. Tumekataa. Number 3, we are going to expand inpatient services at Kichauri, Manga, Ekarenyo, and Mawawa. Number 4, we are going to expand the theater services at Mokomoni, Nyamusi, Nyangena, and Mawawa. We are going to upgrade Yamaya, Tinga, Getare, and Tumbe to level 4 hospitals. Is that what they call it, failed systems? Is that a failed system or progressive? Yes. On this note, I wish to assure the people of Nyamira County that we will no longer have shortage of drugs in our facilities. What we are saying is, after this 100 million, which will go direct to the facilities and which is part of the agency, because agency will invoice them. We are going to bring 200 million more drugs. Mesikia, ndio ikuwe that when we say there will be no shortage of drugs in Nyamira County, we'll actualize it with this in this financial year. There will be no shortage of drugs because it will be revolving. You requisition from the agency what you require and they invoice you. This invoice will be claimed from SHA. And once SHA pays, we continue going that way, round. So we do not expect shortage ya madawa Nyamira imekwisha permanently. Na itarudi tena, hatutasikia hakuna madawa, tutakuwa na madawa, ile tunakuwa tuna replenish annually through delinquencies. Those who cannot afford, we will be covering them through the budget, but generally all health facilities would have enough drugs.
Totigana na yumancho murigelia togoska position komanywa bono yolenke mu president asekiombigia Supreme Court of Kenya since ito Kenya muske David Maraga ngabero yobwango iga kukwanira kubatikana n'obyo bonke bwa Kenya gochora barayibu bwikirano asobo choli bonene bu mwaka o 2027 ka ukwana na balgiba mwana majya kubono muske David Maraga abrika ukwanira kubatikana n'obya bwa bantukuru asichinsema imeye county ya Kisii na Nyamira wasokia sobwango na bono kwelike muna baki chikura asigiri abrika ukwana na kwene kinga senchire yo nikubona urugungu rwituro kusira rabiro kwimukirira rubona kwenyorera iliyo giriya gisiasa ngabiro yobwango iga kukwanira kubatikana n'obyo bonke bwa Kenya gochora barayibu ikirano asobo choli bonene bu mwaka o 2027 ka ukwana na balgiba mwana majya kubona muske David Maraga abrika ukwanira kubatikana n'obya bwa bantukuru asichinsema imeye county ya Kisii na Nyamira wasokia sobwango na bono kwelike muna baki chikura asigiri abrika ukwana na kwene kinga senchire yo nikubona urugungu rwituro kusira rabiro kwimukirira rubona kwenyorera iliogiria kisiasa ikirabona togani tukusuka kuchaso bochori bwo mwaka 2027 muske David Maraga nikobona Amerika kumocha uburayi bwo muske William Ruto asikiri Amerika kwana na kwene kingano gutaikiranya chire chabete chikoligwa enga kie campaign ikati abo korobya ubya kurase chinsemo chamangana yobocheno nonyono bya asamangana yogokini wo chinsemo ikati abo kwaga chokwe chipara ase chinsemo robotiro asobikirano Macho muligiria tukotikana nayo yo musike David Maraga tukosuka bosyo kwikira bono igan komanyibanga kolengana nupo tuki niga bantu bane asa bantu 10 asinsi itu ya Kenya bagenda tukokunwa no mochando kwebirenkerero Osama Rwaire yo motwe macho muligiria kwikira bono iga komanyibanga ngana yo bocheno nonyo no bya asa mangana yo gokini wo chinsemo igati abo kwaga cyo kwechipara ase chinsemo robotiro asobikirano Macho muligiria tukotikana nayo yo musike David Maraga tukosuka bosyo kwikira bono igan komanyibanga kolengana nupo tuki niga bantu bane asa bantu 10 asinsi itu ya Kenya bagenda tukokunwa no mochando kwebirenkerero Osama Rwaire yo motwe Kenya yabrige kuira magoro make asingi yo kwene kingabono amarwaire akebongo abrega ko igwali bakali saine nabo igo abantu gosemigo kubatikana ni chinchira yo mo kubangana yo bocheno abrega ukwanira kubatikana no kina kwena mpeyo y'abantu bakunwa ni michando ya kebongo nabo igo okubetererwa kurwase ministry yo bocheno gochakia obya nabo igo chi program echichirabe chigosemia abakenya kubatikana ni chinchira cyo gwetanga kurwase imichandeye ya kebongo robotiro asobikirana.
We are all aware that mental health problem has really become a concern of everybody, not just in Kenya but globally. However, our attention is in Kenya because that is where we are. And in this case, we all know that the prevalence of mental health conditions or diseases is 1 out of every 4 people, and that is about 25%, and therefore it is a really concern of everybody. And the other thing that has always been there is that mental health has never been given the proper attention that it needs to be given. It is quite imperative that we sensitize our people and we make them aware of mental health issues and maybe even where they can seek attention. I think this is a good thing, and we really want to welcome everyone as we walk around. Let them know that we are purely coming out to remind them that we are all either affected or we are in one way or another taking care of somebody who is affected by mental health.
And we have very interesting topics this year. Our theme, we are looking at integrating innovations into mental health care for a resilient future. So we want to build a resilient future. Resilience here, we are talking about resilience in the healthcare system, resilience among our healthcare professionals, resilience among the community, because we know the prevalence of mental health or mental health disorders is in the increase. And therefore we need to be able to prepare as a country for our future. We can only prepare that if we are able to create resilience in the healthcare system, among our patients, among our community, among healthcare providers, because like we said, all of us are affected in one way or another. And therefore, we are going to have a number of topics or research papers presented in that particular conference. We will look at the interlink between climate change and mental health. We will look at the interlink between medical diseases and mental health, because we know chronic medical diseases are risk factors to chronic mental illnesses. And chronic mental illnesses, we're also going to learn about suicide. All of us agree that in the recent past we've had many incidents, many cases of our citizens, our members in the community, our brothers and sisters dying from suicide. So one of the things that we'll be talking in that conference, or papers that will be presented in that conference, is about suicide and suicide management. The risks to it, how to manage it, how to support somebody who is struggling, because we know that behind any suicide attempt, behind every person who died from suicide, there could be underlying medical and also mental and even social issues. And we want to
president asikiombigia Supreme Court of Kenya since ito Kenya muske David Maraga nigabiro yobwango iga kukwanira kubatikana n'obyo bwonke bwa Kenya gochora barayibu bwikirano asobo choli bonene bu mwaka 2027 ka ukwana na bali bamana majya kubona muske David Maraga abrika ukwanira kubatikana n'obya bw'abantu kurase Chinsa imeye county ya Kisii na Nyamira wesokia sobwango nabono kwelike unabaki chikura asigiri abrika ukwana na kwene kingase nchire yo nikubona orogongo rwito ro kusira rabiro kwimukirira nabono kwenyorera iliyogiria kisiasa ikirabona togani togusuka guchaso bochori bo mwaka 2027 muske David Maraga nikubona abrika kumocha uburayibu muske William Ruto asikiri abrika ukwana na kwene kingano gutaikiranya chire chabete chikoligwa enga kiye campaign ikati yabo korobya ubya kurase Chinsa mu cyamasomo ubya asamangana yobocheno nonye nobya asamangana yogokini wo Chinsa mu ikati yabo kwaga cyo kwitipara ase Chinsa mu robotiro asobikirano.
The election of next year is going to be a critical election. In my view, we have reached a stage where, unless we get it right next year, this country is going to break. We need to get it correct next year. And I'm asking everyone, every tenant, even if you have never voted before, this time you must vote so that we can redeem our country. You know what is happening, the kind of governance system that we are having. Let me just talk about one thing. The others, you know how fuel has gone up, and you know when fuel goes up, everything goes up. You know when you have no health system, how the challenges that we are facing. Right now, this morning, I was reading the papers. They are talking about teachers going on strike. Why is this very important to me? You know, in the course of this confusion, we are going to lose, if we have already not lost, quite a number of young people. Their future will simply be destroyed. How do you start a CBC system of education? Like Kawasaki. We are very intelligent people. Kenya is not lacking in intelligence. We have people who are learned in education, who know what should be done, and I believe they have given reports on what should be done. The implementation of those reports is being skewed because of personal interests. And as a result, we are in this confusion. How do you start a system like CBC, now CBE, without proper preparation? That's why I said, unless you have a government that knows what the interests of its people are, you are going to mess up the country. We cannot afford to gamble with our children. We cannot afford to gamble with our health. Fellow Kenyans, please elect me next year, and I will bring that to an end. And you know we don't lack them. I'll get qualified people.
Tumulire kura soro botiro ntete twenda so mutima ko maketo bese goskoto basa kwenda ali tubata sonel platforms Facebook Amazing Voice of Victory TV, YouTube like na subscribe Chinsa machire as Amazing Voice of Victory TV. To bese goskoto basa kwenda ali nkwira nandi ni chiroboti chinde kura sigete sinike kya Voice of Victory abase gwikira bono iganko manyibanga bono nikaba menyikura si county ya Kirinyaga litkolia lero baba bago koletaro yabo ase nyompene na ya State House na bono kumirana no more bensi ya Kenya muske William Ruto yobere kako balira eire yogo chikoikirania engati yechira chiri abetega kubalira engaki ye campaign to bese goska to basa kwenda ru manchu muliria gwira nande namange
tumanyite Amazing Voice of Victory Radiant TV twagaririe obukoreri bw'itogo cha sore n'ubwate umuyiga uganitie otonwe obe umuyiga bw'inyanki gose amatanga gose umuyiga o graduation uyu uganitie oirukigwe eyemo ase umutanda o YouTube gose kobekwa ase TV Amazing Voice of Victory. Bono Amazing Voice of Victory noere amonae nabo tugukururukiria umuyiga o live ase umutandao o YouTube boigo ilio onyare kubaikira no nyabari bare ase Chinsa Chesiko tubwate chi public address system echo chire chinyikiranu na boigo chirairere umuyiga o ogende buya utariko butoka Amazing Voice of Victory boigo ngoena natore obokoreri bo waka chibicha bose photography na boigo nabo konyora chi generator chingiya echo chira okonye ase umuyiga o ekero estima ya butokire ngokora tore cake making cake decoration na boigo ngokora tore umuyiga o outside catering abwase togo cha kwarigania abageni ase umuyiga o boigo onye kubwate umuyiga uyu uganete chiama amone birogo Amazing Voice of Victory Radiant TV no toria iga ase ingento yago ase amange aka inambesi mekubwatia 0720173287 gose 0720696532
LT Kenya International Medical Center ni nyagitari ikotoka ime yomochi obosongo.
Kenya International Medical Center erega igomochi itobosongo
Igoto kunyaraka otogotumika chimashini chekerero kuringoria omochando ore asomobere ogo.
Cover services amarwaire ayega tokurukanga chronic diseases gose lifestyle diseases.
Amarwaire tokunyaraka otogokonya n'oburoire bwa diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, arthritis, ulcer, ne amarwaire ande amange.
Abanyekitari bare trend nande bakurigera y'umubiri w'umugima ko wetukya bakegesanise igonga kimashini nigo kiroro cyarure Chinsa cy'amayiko kikurigera y'ebimo byawo byonsi bibyo umubiri ko wetukya bakamagurunse
nigo gotonyora gwetira enamba yesimi ere 0717176383 gose 0798018654
Kuria na kitego sali umubiri wito igonga kitotigiri maega so kurigera y'amangana nutrition
nigo twachiri gokonya omochando ore asomobere ogo.
Bwenseja Kenya Muske William Ruto litkolya lero niko bona bereka kogenia abobsa na boigo bana siasa kurwase county ya Kirinyaga kaukwana ekero kyo kogenia abobsa abo na bamenyi kurwase county ya Kirinyaga asinyumpenene ya State House Mija Town ya Nairobi county ya Nairobi niko bona mugavana niko bona muraigo bana siasa kurwase county ya Kirinyaga kaukwana ekero kyo kogenia abobsa abo na bamenyi kurwase county ya Kirinyaga asinyumpenene ya State House Mija Town ya Nairobi county ya Nairobi niko bona mugavana niko bona muraigo Bensita Kenya Muske William Ruto abereka ukwanira kubatikana n'obyo bonka beteka kubalira abamenyi pe county ya Kirinyaga nabona kwenekinga kuikira bonega ngo byo bopugendetse kora barwa serikali yae nabona kwenekinga wabere bokurekiranirwa kegima ka ukwana Chisemicho ngibona muraigo Bensita Kenya Muske William Ruto abereka ukwanira kubatikana n'obyo bonke gati yabo gocho kwaga chogwe chidamu gose chindani ase county yo ya Kirinyaga ikero ose chinga kibuneji ikero kiembura asinge njoyo gochokokeania umuchando bugotatoka ukwa mache ikero kyumurakera muraibo Bensita Kenya Muske William Ruto chinga gicho ngibona abereka kubulia bamenyi pe Chinsemo che county ya Kirinyaga kumwagata nabona ko bamega yaye ikero asemereti kurya entunda ya kabere y'uburayi asobocho y'ubunene mu mwaka wa 2027 Robert Euro asobikirana
Alafu jambo la tatu ambayo tunataka lazima tufanye ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba tuko na dams. Najua ile kilimo ya kutumia mvua karibu tumefika mwisho. Nyinyi mnajua Kenya only 15% ya Kenya iko na mvua. 85% ni arid and semi-arid. So we need, tunahitaji another 2.5 million acres ya shamba na tunahitaji dams. Na nikisema dams, nyinyi kama watu wa Kirinyaga mnajua umuhimu wa damu. Mimi nawaeleza mchele ingeendelea pale Mwea bila damu. Si ile Thiba Dam ndio imetusaidia kuongeza shamba ya mchele. So tunahitaji kujenga dams zingine 50 kubwa kama hiyo ya Thiba Dam. Na mimi najua hata nyinyi mko na mapendekezo ya damu, si ndio? Kuongeza stima na kujenga madamu. Tunahitaji pesa trilioni 5. 5 trillion. Pesa mingi kweli kweli. Lakini niko na mpango ya vile tutapata hiyo pesa. Yes. Kirinyaga hoye. Mumesikia safari ya Singapore? Eh? Eh? Umesikia? So, na tayari nimepanga.
Kirinyaga hoye! Tukutika rasa mangana yoyo burayi muteneneri wa minister sensito Kenya gose prime minister Muske Musalia Mudavadi mukirabono igani gabereka kwandira kubatikana ni chinguru kigenda tukubikwa ne serikali ya Kenya kwanza ilikuwa ni kingabono chira cyabete kikoligwa engakiye campaign asaba Kenya chinsemo cyabere kigo ikiranigwa kegima kwa kwana litikolia lero asomo yigomo tangani ase town ya Nairobi litikolia lero asigikaro kya National Development Implementation Committee nikobono mokonyi nikobono mo prime minister Musalia Musalia Mudavadi abereka kwandira kubatikana no kwero kwa minister kurwase chinsemo ilikuwa ni kingabono chira cyumurayibwe nsito Kenya Muske William Ruto cyabere kigo ikiranigwa asaba menyi biti county meronkene na isano na Ibere mijensi ito ya Kenya kwa kwana chinsemo chopo no niko Muske Musalia Mudavadi au kubereka kwanira kubatikana no kwero chinsemo ikati yabo ministry yobo cheno ilikuwa ni kingabono ogosiro kwa chinsemo kwa bere kugotoka asenchiremo yokwena na obya ucyasaba Kenya unayabetike kuliyegwa asichira chinyinge ekeroge campaign yechikura cyo mwaka w'ekirububere nimero 22 robotiro asobekirana.
His Excellency President William Ruto's administration and the people of Kenya is realized. The better objectives of lowering the cost of living, increasing employment, expanding the tax base, and improving foreign exchange and driving inclusive growth should remain our guiding principles. These are the parameters that Kenyans will use to judge this administration's performance and cast their vote come ballot day in August 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, you realize that you are the engine room of better. You are expected to deliver the promise in all key sectors of the plan, that is agriculture, SMEs, affordable housing, ICT, and digital superhighway and universal healthcare. As implementers of the plan, we must stay the course and deliver them. We all know that a sick child can't heal on promises. Jobs cannot be created on just talk. Good roads cannot be constructed on a policy paper. Affordable housing can only be done block by block, colored hand by and colored hand. The way our forefathers, implementers of the plan, we must stay the course and deliver them. We all know that a sick child can't heal on promises. Jobs come from independence. What we do in the next 395 days will echo for generations. This requires that we roll our sleeves and push services to the last mile. Serve Kenyans with urgency and focus. Let every Kenyan feel and see something working for each one of them, and work that is finished, good roads being used, working affordable healthcare. This is the most powerful campaign message we can send out to Kenyans of a government that works efficiently, effectively, and relentlessly for its people. Affordable healthcare is one of the indicators of a thriving society. In this respect, SHA, fondly referred to as Taifa Care, has made huge milestones with over 30.5 million Kenyans so far registered. As a result, we must have all hands on the deck to ensure that the registered Kenyans pay Taifa Care premiums in advance and do not wait until they are unwell to pay up. Insurance is a shared resource, and waiting until you are unwell to pay is a disservice to another Kenyan. Focus on programs such as Inua Jamii, which directly touch on the well-being of Kenyans, should be prioritized. Under this program, we have 1,149,000 older persons, 439,000 orphans and vulnerable children and households, and 63,900 persons with severe injuries. These senior citizens and vulnerable members of our society depend entirely on this program for their livelihoods. We should ensure this program has sufficient funds to disperse the stipends.
Machomorigire nako yakora mangana majia aitoni gotokwenda ya maseme go ikasi bro bobye tikosoli na bakosoli onkomanyi gwanga seli tikolia igoro go seli tikolia go kiera litikolia asobo tukobo go kiera litikolia lero ligobone keminano kya UEFA Champions League kyabireke go ikasi taracha yechi finali onkomanyi gwanga bone timu ya Paris Saint-Germain nigobone yabireke kubotora etiketi na bono go chakogania uyorabe gakubwa egosoli gatie timu ya Atletico Madrid na boigo Arsenal yirabeke go korobo tukobo go kiera ubo tukobwa lero basi nkomanyi gwanga bono nige timu ya Paris Saint-Germain yabiteke gukore timu ya Bayern Munich chigoli sano ase chigoli nye nkomanyi gwanga timu ya PSG niko bono yabireke kwibutugera etiketi yo kuchiko chesa ase kiminanikyo ase finali egati ya babui para beba gotoka egati ya timu ya Atletico Madrid na boigo aba murakuru ase ense ya England Arsenal mwancho mulirira tuligirira egati yego soli. Kwikira butimba mange tatiko goikomorio bo mangana maje kuru asigete ni bwanje take amazing voice of victory nkoligeli ase Chinsemo cyo ujumbe nkororanga nigabara ligeli kuru ase Chinsemo abaligeli kuru ase county ya Kisii kuru ase town ya Bosongo ne county ya Nyamira babiri bakondikira ujumbe kubatikana n'obyo bonke babiri bogotoke gati serikali ya county ya Kisii ne county ya Nyamira banke kuru ase county ya Nyamira babiri bakwego kali kubatikana n'obyo bonke babiri bokobiko ne serikali yo igati yabo kubatukerwa ku muryogo n'obyo bonke ku cyase Kinyagitari babiri bokwene kigwana mugavana we county yo Moske Amos Nyari we kachinga gichindo mwancho murigelia na bero murali no Wilson Omenge twabere tukubatira nabara ibande kuru basigete seni ki amazing voice of victory magaye chikamera liko nikinge bichan neliyo giniga yabirikego ikrasenjero ikrano ngakuruko muri kito Ishmael Omoyo nabere kubatira nabara ibande kuru batesigete seni bwanje teki amazing voice of victory kolende mnabotambe ko kubolyanga obekoko tutarasa magataito a golf arcade barabara niki gwanda kiagusi stadium imeya town Bosonge county ya Kisii erobo ko bosemi ko kubatikana no bora ni opunke boko babogotoka asigete seni ki bwanje teki amazing voice of victory kuika chinga kichinde mwancho muligelia na koganiri obuligeleri obotoere.